Yeah, obviously excited for our group. Getting to the second Monday, playing the late game, that was our goal, and it's a goal at the start of the year for our team, and just excited for them to get back to the Boston Garden and have an opportunity to play for a Beanpot championship.
All right, questions. Richard, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. Just talk about TJ a minute. He followed that game against BC with a win up at Songus Arena, which is never easy. Where's his confidence level and comfort zone right now?
Yeah, there's no doubt he's confident. He's got some experience now playing against really good teams, playing in a big venue. And I think more importantly, our group was really confident in front playing with him playing in front of us. So, that's a big step, I think, as a goaltender, knowing that your teammates trust you. But he's playing really well, and we're excited for him to go into the Garden and have another good performance for us.
Trey, go ahead.
Big picture for your program, for Northeastern to go 30 years without winning a Beanpot title. How unimaginable would it be to look up and see that banner with 4 straight titles on it?
Yeah, no doubt. I've been here for this is my 11th now. So I know what it was like chasing that first one. And it was a big one when we won in 18. And now I guess, now it's more, you're not worried about winning the first one. It's more just exciting for your guys to experience it. And we have, I think, 9 players that have won a Beanpot. They got a taste of it, and now they want more. And then they teach the younger guys about that and what it means to win a Beanpot and what it takes to win a Beanpot at the end of the day. And I'm not really looking at number 4, just looking at for this group. We want this team to have an opportunity to win a Beanpot.
There's also some attention on Devin with all he's accomplishing right now in the Olympic Games. I remember a couple of years back, Adam Gaudette didn't get the chance to go overseas, and he said that this was bigger than winning an Olympic medal. What does this stage really mean? Is I guess some would call it the biggest stage in hockey?
Oh, it is important, and it's really important to our university. It's important to our president, our students, the doghouse, our alumni. So it is. It's a big stage. It's really important to our program. So, in Devin's case, I mean, he had an opportunity to play in the Olympics, and we're happy for him. We're proud of him. I think that's great for him. It's great for our program. And I'm sure he's looking at tomorrow night, and that's something that he probably wishes that he had the opportunity, but hopefully that, next year he gets that opportunity. But right now, we're going with the guys that we have here. We're excited about our group tomorrow night. We know we're going to have to play well. But it is a big venue, and it means a lot to a lot of people around here.
Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, hey, Coach. Looking at BU specifically, obviously you played them 2 close games earlier in the year, but they're kind of red hot right now. What do you see as being different with them right now?
Well, they're healthy now. They were banged up earlier in the year. They're a healthy team. They've gotten a lot better as the year's gone on. Coach O'Connell and myself are very close. And I know what kind of hockey guy he is. They've got a great staff. They got that team playing really well. So we know that we're going to have to play really well tomorrow night to give ourselves a chance to win. We're expecting a great hockey game. Two very good teams going at it head to head at the Boston Garden playing for the Beanpot. So it's exciting for everybody.
Rich, if you got another one, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach. Aidan's coming on after you. Just talk about his ability to get the puck in the net.
Can you repeat that question? I'm sorry.
No, I just said Aidan will be coming on after you, and I just talk about his ability to put the puck in the net.
Yeah, Dunzo, number one, he works at it. There's not a kid that works harder than him at putting themselves in situations in practice to score goals. He's always ready. He's down. His hands are out in front of his body. He can really one-time pucks. Anytime you see a kid that puts the time in to become a better player, you want to see them get rewarded. And I'm not surprised that he scores as much as he does because he works at it so much.
Coach, you mentioned BU getting healthy and coming on strong. How are you guys looking going into tomorrow with your health and the status of your boys?
Yeah, for the most part, we're pretty healthy. We're a little banged up right now, as most teams are. So we'll, we're using our depth. That's something that I feel really confident with this team, that we have good depth, and we feel good about our lineup going in tomorrow night.
Andrew, go ahead.
Jerry, oftentimes in a tournament like this, it's the unheralded player that you might not anticipate, stepping up. But have you ever seen anything like this where, and I know it's unusual circumstances, but we have a pair of backup goalies playing in the championship game, and just the way they stepped up last week?
Yeah, it is unique, especially where, both teams' number one goaltenders are at the Olympics, one for US, one for Canada. But again, it does show the depth in college hockey, and, you need good goaltending, and you need depth in that position to win. But it's unique, and, you hope both goaltenders tomorrow night go in and play well. And again, both teams play well. But it's exciting. Usually there is guys in the Beanpot that step up and play really well and get rewarded for it. So, we're hoping that TJ continues to stay hot for us.
And last week it was Jordan Harris we spoke with. Now we're going to speak with Aidan. Just how important is it, do you think, to have local guys on your roster playing in this tournament?
Yeah, it is exciting. They've all grown up watching the Beanpot and probably dreaming about the opportunity to play in it. It's big for their families. So I also think it's important because they can talk about what it means to play in the Beanpot and win a Beanpot to the players that aren't from around here, and how much it means, the importance of it. So yeah, I think having some local guys, and we've got quite a few, and we've had quite a few. It does mean something to play in the Beanpot when you grow up around here.
Mike D, go ahead.
Coach, last week you talked about the players who maybe haven't had a chance to play in a Beanpot before, and it takes a couple of shifts to get their legs under them and get acclimated to the grand stage, the big environment that they're in. Do you think going into the championship game it's a little easier now that they've done it once before at the Garden, or do you think that's another thing we can expect, maybe taking a couple shifts to get their legs under them?
No, I think it still takes a few shifts to get your legs under you when you're playing in the championship game. It means even that much more. The crowd is going to be probably electric to start the game tomorrow night. And yeah, I think it's just kind of settling into the game, getting your feet under you, keeping the game simple, and everybody getting a few shifts under them. But yeah, I'm sure both teams are going to be a little bit nervous tomorrow night. You just want to, like I said, settle in, play smart at the start of the game.
Any other questions for Coach Keefe?
And I think that it's nervous energy, and that's not a bad thing. There's going to be some butterflies on both sides because guys want to win. They care. It's an important game. So, I think we're prepared going in. So it's not being nervous that way. It's the crowd that will, it's exciting.
Mike P, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, I know Ritzkovian missed Friday. Do you expect him back in tomorrow?
Game time decision.
Oh, hi, Aidan. Just Coach O'Connell kind of commented on the vibe he felt at the BC Northeastern game in the first night. How much did you guys feed off that crowd? I mean, the Northeastern section was pretty much going crazy.
Yeah, it was huge. It honestly felt like the championship game for my freshman year. That's kind of what the energy felt like and what the crowd looked like. It felt like we were playing in a championship game, and in the first game of the Beanpot, which is from going to so many of them over my whole life, I haven't seen many atmospheres like that the first night. So it was amazing, and I know it definitely helped us so much throughout the game. Momentum's a huge part of the Beanpot, and I think when the crowd is able to kind of help you, it can really help you for as an advantage. So.
If anyone, Andrew, go ahead.
And I remember talking to you 2 years ago as a freshman going into your first Beanpot, and how fired up you were. Now with a little more experience under your belt, but still being a local kid, just how excited are you for Monday night's game?
Yeah, I think I was a little bit more nervous this time around, last week than I was my freshman year. I think because I was just so excited my freshman year and, just so happy to even be playing in it and playing at the Garden for the first time and seeing all my friends and family in the stands. And I think now knowing what comes with it after winning and kind of the whole experience, now it's a little bit more pressure to do that again. And because you know how unbelievable it is when you do win it. So now it's, probably just the same level of excitement, but a little added pressure, but it's awesome. And I'm just as excited as I was my freshman year. It's an amazing opportunity to play at the Garden in front of, so many people. So.
Mike D, go ahead.
Aidan, you guys obviously have had 2 meetings with BU already this year with 2 positive results, thanks in no small part to you. What's it like going and playing them for a 3rd time on the stage, having that experience playing against them and kind of knowing what you guys are getting yourself into as you step onto the ice?
Well, I think it's good that, we've already played them because, we get to see how they've played and seeing, what we have to do to win and, what we can't do, what we have to stay away from. It's really tough to beat a team twice, even harder to beat a team 3 times. So we know it's going to be a big challenge. And but at the end of the day, it's, we don't like them. They don't like us. It's the Beanpot final. What happens before these games doesn't really end up mattering. And whoever comes out with this one is gonna have the bragging rights for the year. I don't think the weekend series in November is gonna weigh too much on what's gonna happen tomorrow night. So,
Rich, go ahead.
Just to get the team's perspective about TJ. First, a great effort against BC, but to come back against UMass Lowell and Songus, a real snake pit. What has that done for his confidence level and the team's confidence level in him?
yeah, I think throughout the whole year, he's been really impressive in practice. And I think all the guys have kind of been impressed by his work ethic and how good he's been all year in practice. And then to show up on Aidan last Monday and do what he did, I think all the guys were just kind of blown away, because it's one thing to, to do it in practice and, but to do it in a game that big of a stage and be how good he was. And then even, 2 nights ago against Lowell, he was unbelievable. So I think the guy's confidence in him is at an all-time high. And I think we're just super fortunate to have, great goaltending throughout our whole, lineup, that we know that when we go into a game that if we do what we have to do, the goalie's going to help us out and give us the best chance to win.
All right, we got both Mikes with their hands up, so we'll do Mike P followed by Michael D. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, speaking of that Lowell game, how good was it to see Kistlin get his first goal in that one?
Yeah, it was awesome. I've played with Kiss now for 3 years, and it's crazy to think that he's never scored before because I feel like, he has a lot of opportunities too. And we always kind of mess with him and joke around with, when he's going to get his first one. And it was awesome. It was a huge goal for us. And it was great to see him get the one. And it definitely, probably was one of the loudest cheers from the bench that we've had all year for someone to score. So it was awesome. He deserves it because, he's been such a great player for us and does so many things, defensively and away from the puck that it's good to see him get rewarded with a goal.
Hey, Aidan. So with there being no Beanpot last year, you're obviously jumping directly from, freshman Beanpot champion to now you are one of the leaders of a forward group where a lot of guys haven't seen a Beanpot final before. So what are kind of some of the lessons that you're trying to pass on to them and trying to, lead your group forward?
Yeah, I think there's a few. I mean, like I said, I've only been a part of one, but the one I was a part of was, probably one of the craziest games, in Beanpot history, I would say. So I think some of the things that I've been saying and what some of the older guys have been saying is, one, get into the game early, get your legs under you, get a hit. Cause the quicker you can settle down and just play hockey and not, kind of be running around and thinking about, the atmosphere and things like that, the better off we're going to be. Also, like I said, the Beanpot's a lot of, the game is pretty much based off of momentum and who has the momentum at that time. Cause you can see, a team will go up by 2, then, next thing you know, you're down by 2 and it's tied. So the games seem to be go up and down a lot. So you kind of have to stay even keeled, stay in the moment. And the biggest thing in these types of games, I think we always talk about doing it for each other. Because, it doesn't matter who has the better team or who has the better systems or who has more skill or X's and O's. And the Beanpot just comes down to, who's going to do it for each other at the end of the night. And that usually is the one who's going to end up winning. So that's kind of the biggest messages that we've been saying.